MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
college, we've got you covered. Safe, affordable, health conscious. Our tuition is less than $20,000 a year, and scholarships are available. Make your best decision ever and apply today.
To some, this is just a ball. To Iowa Farm Bureau, it's much more. It's opportunity for small-town kids to make it big. It's our youth, our community leaders, our past, our future. It's hopes and dreams, passion and pride. To Iowa Farm Bureau, this is the reason we work so hard. This is Iowa. Iowa Farm Bureau. People, progress, and pride.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the girls' state basketball tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. My name is Eric Zamora, and alongside Andy Pollock, our color commentator, and Anna Bassett, our engineer, producer, and director. In just a moment, we're going to have the matchup of the number 4 seed, Exira-EHK Spartans, and the number 1 seed, Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. And Andy, thanks for joining me along this the semifinal matchup in 1A. And the thing that jumps out at me immediately is that in a pandemic year, these two teams were able to get a full slate in, and between the two of them have a combined 1 loss. Obviously, the cream rises to the crop at this point of the season, and these two teams are as deserving as anybody to be here in the state tournament this weekend.
Well, and that 1 loss by Garrigan at 24-1 this year is a little misleading because they traveled down at the last minute to play West Des Moines Valley just a few weeks ago, and that was their loss, and they lost by, I think it was 4 at that point. Very close game. So that can be misleading. It takes some creative scheduling, and everybody was able to make it work. You saw a lot of teams, if you were able to stay out of quarantine, you saw a lot of teams get to get their 22 games in this year.
All right, and as we take a look to our road to state here, coming in, the head coach of the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, Brandon Schwab, doing a fantastic job. Springville, a team that I actually had an opportunity to call one of their playoff games last season. They were able to knock off in the quarterfinals. And on the other side, Tom Peterson and Exira, what really stands out for them is how they're able to spread the ball around and get a lot of different players involved. And should be an exciting matchup with the winner to move on to the championship on Saturday.
Well, and as you look at Exira, Elkhorn, and Kimballton, a team with a very proud tradition, they've only got 8 girls here. That's all they travel with. That's all they have. We were talking with one of the officials before the game, not even sure how they scrimmage in games, he asked me, and I don't have that answer either, but like you mentioned, they spread the floor, they shoot great from the perimeter, and that's what it's going to take for them today to come out with a win.
All right, we will take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll dive deeper in what these two teams will need to do to win today's game with our Kruger Seeds for Success. We'll also have your starting lineups as we get set for tip-off. You're watching the 2021 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
And that's halftime, folks. I'm Gus Johnson, and it looks like the Clarks are starving. Over to Dad.
He goes for the Casey's app.
2 handmade pizzas.
Incredible! Casey's curbside pickup. What a play! Bringing it home. Boom! He scores with Casey's Pizza. Order any large Casey's pizza. Score another for just $5.99.
Casey's for the win.
Welcome back here live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we are in the pregame, and we will send it over to Andy Pollock for our Kruger Seeds for Success.
Well, first of all, the visiting team on the scoreboard today, Exira, Elkhorn, Kimballton, the Spartans. Like I mentioned before, proud tradition at 24-0. They've got to win the perimeter with Algona Garrigan or Bishop Garrigan patrolling the paint with Audie Crooks, who we will talk much more about later on. They're going to have to shoot well from the outside and then stay out of foul trouble. Like I mentioned, they only have 8 girls. They do not go deep at all. And if they have any issues whatsoever, it's going to be tough to continue to play the tough defense that they have all year. For Algona Bishop Garrigan, the Golden Bears, 24-1 on the season, and they have shot well. They need to continue to shoot well, and Audie Crooks is going to get her touches. She's going to get her points, but someone else is going to have to step up, and that has been Molly Joyce very much as of late. And then pound the paint. Get that ball into Audie Crooks. Get to Exira, Elkhorn, Kimballton rotating around, force them to defend a little bit more, and they should have no problem.
Today's Seeds for Success were brought to you by Kruger Seeds. The next time you're in need of corn or soybean feed, give your Kruger Seeds dealer a call. Kruger Seeds, first-class seed, first-name service. Learn more at krugerseed.com. We'll take our final break before tip-off, and when we come back, we'll have your team introductions and starting lineups for this tournament matchup. You're watching Girls State Basketball, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
You are my favorite place to go. You're at the end of my favorite.
You work hard to feed them well. That's why at Fairway, we work hard to give you the freshest produce, the highest quality meat, and the most affordable prices.
It guides me. I got it. You're my favorite.
Fairway Meat and Grocery. It's what we're all about.
Fans, the Iowa Bankers Association is proud to help students reach their goals both financially and educationally. That's why they're honored to provide 5 student athletes from this year's basketball tournament with $1,000 scholarships. Follow their Facebook page, facebook.com/Iowa Bankers, to see the winners. We are moments away from the Class 1A semifinal matchup. It is number 1 Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears versus the number 4 seed Exira-EHK Spartans. And we will go ahead and send things over to courtside and our public address announcer, Tim Fitzpatrick.
Basketball fans, welcome to today's 2021 Girls State Basketball 1A semifinal matchup featuring the visiting team, the Exira-EHK Spartans, and the home team, the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears.
The score of any game may be forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and fans are remembered.
Sportsmanship is an attitude that can have a positive influence on everyone around you in the stands and on the court.
How do you want to be remembered? Support your team positively and enjoy the game.
And enjoy the game.
And enjoy the game.
It's now time to introduce the players in today's 1A quarterfinal matchup. First, here are your non-starters and assistant coaches for the Exira-EHK Spartans. Number 5, Haley Snyder. Number 15, Tatum Grubbs. And number 35, Hannah Nelson. Your assistant coach, Corey Bartz. And now, here are your non-starters and assistant coaches for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Number 2, Emma Grangenet. Number 3, Anna Berkey. Number 4, Gracie Rosenmeyer. Number 12, Kelly Beatty. Number 20, Reagan Murphy. Number 21, Abby Capacious. Number 23, Meredith Tegas. Number 30, Ashlyn Hovey. Number 32, Ella Muller. And number 34, Kaylin Capacious. Your assistant coaches, Mick Elbert and Joe Bartolo. And now, introducing your starters for today's matchup. For Exira-EHK, a 5'5" junior number 3, Alisa Partridge. For Bishop Garrigan, a 5'7" sophomore, number 11, Molly Joyce. For the Spartans, a 5'5" sophomore, number 11, Quinn Grubbs. For the Golden Bears, a 5'10" senior, number 14, Kaylin Myers. For Exira-EHK, a 5'7" junior, number 21, Molly Rasmussen. For Bishop Garrigan, a 5'7" senior, number 22, Gracie Elsbecker. For the Spartans, a 5'4" sophomore, number 23, Shay Burmeister. For the Golden Bears, a 5'8" senior, number 24, Reese Rosenmeyer. And for Exira-EHK, a 5'11" junior, number 25, Macy Emgarten. For the Golden Bears, a 6'3" sophomore, number 55, Audie Crooks. Head coach for the Spartans, Tom Peterson. For the Golden Bears, Brandon Schwab. Ladies and gentlemen, now turn your attention to the area in front of the scorers table. The officials for today's 1A semifinal, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Raleigh Weavers, Jeff Horst, and Ray Walden Jr. All right, who's ready for state tournament basketball?
And as we take a look again at the lineups, Exira-EHK going with Alisa Partridge, Quinn Grubbs, Molly Rasmussen, Shay Burmeister, and Macy Emgarten. For the considered home team, Bishop Garrigan, Molly Joyce, Kaylin Myers, Gracie Elsbecker, Reese Rosenmeyer, and Audie Crooks. The squad in white, Bishop Garrigan with control, and they'll go from left to right. They'll feed it into the hands of Myers, dishing it. Joyce with some movement, gets a good look, not able to get that to drop. Rebound pulled down by Molly Rasmussen.
Interesting to watch EHK kind of concede the opening tip-off. They sent all their players back right away just to play defense, going up against Audie Crooks there in the tip.
Quinn Grubbs on the dribble. They feed it down low, and a backdoor bucket And a great start right out of the gate for the Spartans.
They got the ball in the high post, and they were able to draw up Crooks and take her out of the lane a little bit more, get that nice entry pass like you mentioned, wide open layup.
Emgarten, the 5'11 junior, with the bucket. Ellsbecker on one side, and this is going to be kicked out by Crooks. A three on the way, no good. Tipped, and that is going to be going the way of Exira-EHK. As we take a look at the teams, one of the things that you pointed out, the Spartans are really going to have to dig deep here as they've got fewer bodies on the bench, but also the Golden Bears really able to distribute it. They've got 3 players that have scored over 250 points, so it's not like you can just single in on Crooks or Myers or Joyce. All of them are going to get their opportunities. Here's a shot missed and pulled down by Bishop Garrigan.
Crooks, we'll talk more about her later, but as they try to feed it into her, a lot of attention.
She was shadowed by Emgarten and Grubbs. Those two combined to get hands on it and keep it out of the possession of number 55, Audie Crooks, just a sophomore. Broken up by Reese Rosenmeyer. Long outlet pass in transition, and they'll score off the window. Molly Joyce gets them on the board.
Kaylin Myers, as she comes away with a steal, quickly looking across the court, and you see that you get the defensive backcourt really transitioning across. Great look, great feed.
In the semifinal games I've called here in the 3A and 4A divisions, that transition game has been key for the teams that have advanced. Switching quickly from defense to offense. 3 dropped in from the corner. Shea Burmeister will put it on the board and give her squad an early 5-2 lead.
In the pregame, we talked about how EHK, or Exira-EHK, don't want to cut out Exira from there, but they're going to have to be able to hit some of those outside shots, giving up a lot in the middle.
Burmeister with an early score to give her squad and the fans here in attendance something to cheer about. Nearly lost sight of what sport I was in, was thinking lighting the lamp on the hockey side. A 3 attempted by Ellsbecker and doesn't quite find the bottom of the cup.
Both these teams play outstanding defense.
And right on cue, a steal by Reese Rosenmeyer. And they'll slow things down as they get down to the end of the court. Kaylin Myers, the senior, with it. Now feeds it over to the right side. 3 put up just off the mark, but coming right back to Reese Rosenmeyer. And a rebound pulled down, and good footwork there by Emgarten to keep that in play.
On the defensive end, they're using Shea Burmeister on the front side of Crooks and just bodying her up the entire time, really trying to prevent the ball to be fed into the post.
Newell Fonda and Montezuma watch on to see which of these teams they'll get an opportunity to play for the championship tomorrow at 6:30. Fed out by Crooks with the rebound. And so far, still a bit of a feeling out period, but these two teams are starting to get a little bit more familiar with one another. Obviously got an opportunity to watch each other's quarterfinal matchup, and there, a shot by Myers falls a little bit short, and we will have a substitution. Substitutions sponsored by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com.
So many times during the course of the year we talk about the offensive stats, but when you look at the defensive numbers that these two teams put up, it is quite impressive.
Into the left corner, 3 off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Bishop Garrigan.
Bishop Garrigan gives up just 28 points per game.
Joyce hits a 3, and that'll get us deadlocked at 5 apiece. 3:48 left in our opening quarter. And sometimes this time of the year, the high-flowing and high-scoring offenses kind of get shut down. Here you've got a couple of teams that already not giving up many points, and then things tighten up even more defensively when so much is on the line. Nice drive there by Myers, unable to get it to drop. However, we are going to have a whistle, a foul called here, and Exira-EHK will maintain possession here.
It's certainly not for lack of tempo. Both these teams pushing the ball up and down the court. They're not trying to just slow down the game and keep teams from scoring. They each take the ball at the bucket on their own.
And a steal and some defense, perhaps generating offense. Into the corner went Anna Berkey. They'll switch over to the left side. on the dribble, Joyce. Joyce switches back, and in and out the attempt by Berkey. Rebound pulled down by Emgarten.
Emgarten, a great box out on Crooks.
Driving the lane, and Crooks with a piece of that shot. And we will have another substitution as Exira-EHK, not a lot of bodies on the bench, but they'll get them involved. Hannah Nelson and Tatum Grubbs coming in. Grubbs is the older sister of Quinn Grubbs. Looking for a bank pass inside. Intended target was Nelson. And it is instead the Golden Bears going the other way. And a travel will be called here on Molly Joyce, the sophomore. And will give the ball back to the Spartans.
Well, you mentioned the ladies coming off the bench for Exira-EHK, and one of those, like you mentioned, Tatum Grubbs, playing on a torn ACL, something that they said she wouldn't have to repair it. She could play with it this year, probably have to get it repaired after the season, but that senior doesn't want to spend the end of her senior year on the bench.
2:32 left in our opening quarter, and as Andy was pointing out, a low-scoring game, but it wasn't by design. These teams have just played really fantastic, stifling defense. They'll kick it to the outside. Off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled back down. And we will have an opportunity here for the Bishop Garrigan squad to inbound on the offensive side. Once again, we will have another IMT Insurance substitution as coming back onto the floor, both Partridge and Emgarten.
Someone else for Algona Garrigan's going to have to be able to step up and hit a shot. As you see, just Crooks getting all sorts of attention down low.
Abby Capacious had that ball inbounded to her and immediately dishes off to the right side. That one hits off of the sneaker of Joyce and comes away with it to the Spartans. They'll kick it to the outside. Pulling up there was Grubbs, and a bucket scored by Molly Rasmussen. It gets her on the board and gives her squad a 7-5 lead.
More of a secondary break. Nothing there initially, but the defense didn't have time to set up yet. Gets a wide open 10-footer.
And Crooks with a turnaround jumper, no good. Spartans pull down the rebound. Yesterday was talking with Laura Leonard about how sometimes these younger players, you don't see that patience. They always want to attack, and that was a nice job that last possession. Now Rasmussen comes back with a big shot, a deep two to make it 9-5.
19-foot bank shot in rhythm.
Back the other way, they'll float it inside for Crooks. Crooks is not going to miss too often from point-blank range, and she gets herself on the board as the first 5 points had been scored by her counterpart, Molly Joyce.
Well, you notice they didn't get anybody fronting her that time, so once she catches the ball that close to the rim, nice soft touch off the glass.
Emgarten with a little bit of stutter step. The southpaw lets it go. Twice off the rim, but will not find a friendly roll for the Spartans. 50 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. 9-7. Exira-EHK on top. It's a one-possession game. Into the right side. Now cutting down Broadway and floating one in to tie it is Abby Capacious.
Emgarten had to come all the way over to this side, the near side, to try to catch to front Crooks, and then she got lost as he got the cutter coming back through. Wide open look.
That defense that you want, we've talked about how good the Spartans are on the defensive side of the court, but if you can get them moving around and maybe trying to get some miscommunication, that's where you're going to have positive things if you're the Golden Bears. A little bit of pressure there on Quinn Grubbs. Switches over and it's picked off. Myers comes up with the interception. Down the left baseline they go. And an offensive foul called here with 1.4, and that will fire up the Spartan fan section.
Shea Burmeister saw that, sprinted to her spot, got right there, definitely set. Good call by the officiating crew here, a veteran crew here tonight.
1.4 ticks, probably not enough time to get much of a look, but Emgarten steps up from midcourt and didn't miss it by much. Hits where the rim meets the backboard, and a fantastic finish to our first quarter, 9-9, and we will take a step away from the action. We'll be right back with more basketball. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. The fun is always loud. And now it's easy to plan your Des Moines adventure. Introducing the Catch List. A list of all things you can't miss. All the thrills, all the chills, hops and drops. Des Moines is a city of love that'll put a smile on your face. It's easy to picture yourself here. Find your adventure at catchdesmoines.com/catchlist today.
At Central College, we've got you covered. Safe, affordable, health conscious. Our tuition is less than $20,000 a year, and scholarships are available. Make your best decision ever and apply today.
Hey fans, Central College has a tuition price less than $20,000. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever. Scholarships still available. Apply today at central.edu. 8 minutes up on the board as we start quarter number 2. Exira-EHK Spartans in their scarlet jerseys with white numerals. Spartans written across the chest in white. They go from right to left on your screen here in quarter number 2. 9 seconds gone by, and we'll keep things going with Quinn Grubbs looking to inbound. Bishop Garrigan, the Golden Bears, in their home white jerseys with black numerals outlined in gold. Garrigan written across the top of the chest as well. They attack the north basket here in the first half, going left to right. A turnover on the opening possession, and coming away with it was Reese Rosenmeyer. They go inside to Crooks. Crooks has 3 swarming all over. Still gets a good look off the front of the rim. No good. Draws some contact, and she will head to the line to make it a 3-point play.
Well, and she's got Molly Rasmussen and Macy Emgarten hanging all over as she goes up and muscles that one up there. Audie Crooks is probably going to get her college paid for wherever she wants to go. All the in-state schools have offered. Just a sophomore. She's also got an offer from out east at Maryland.
And while Crooks not able to put in the free throw, a better result for the Golden Bears as Kaylin Myers quickly picks up that rebound, gets a bucket, and it will once again be Bishop Garrigan ball. And you see how much they respond off of that Crooks bucket. And to start the second quarter, it's been all Bishop Garrigan.
They just need to figure out a way to get her more involved. Just haven't got a whole lot of touches to her. You see there's 2-3 gals around her all the time.
Crooks, well, that's one way to do it. A miss on the 3 by Joyce, but Crooks picks up the rebound, and the Golden Bears are fired up as they come out with a quick early 6 points in the second quarter and take the 15-9 lead. Audie Crooks leading the Golden Bears in so many statistical categories. Rebounds all across the board, both sides of the court, blocks, points, and as you'd imagine, free throws made and attempted because she goes to the line so often.
Well, her shooting percentage is so high. That's what's great. I mean, the shot selection to shoot over 70% from the field. It's incredible to watch what she does right there. The body control. She, instead of going over the back of EHK, she turns her back to him, is able to reach backwards and grab the rebound. You can't call a foul on that as an official. Gets a great look.
And Andy, that's exactly what I was thinking when I did my prep for this. I did a double take and went, I must have misread that. She can't be hitting 70% of her shots, but 7 out of 10 times she releases a shot, it's finding the bottom of the barrel. And then a big block. Now it does stay in possession of the Spartans, and they'll feed it out to Partridge. Elisa Partridge switches over to the right side. Quinn Grubbs now into the corner. Rasmussen pounded by a couple of players, still able to get it inside to Emgarten and draws some contact. So while the Bishop Garrigan fans were ready to cheer for the block on Audie Crooks, she'll end up picking up the foul with 6:26 left to go in the first half. And at the line, M. Garten.
No doubt all ball, but just got her lower body, started to nudge her out as M. Garten went to make her move.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the replay, and unfortunately, Audie Crooks probably is going to have that call go against her sometimes just because she looks like she's a lot more forceful than she is. She's just going up and playing ball. She'll kick one out to the right side. And a three dropped in from downtown, hitting it, Kaylin Myers.
Well, you see all the attention that Crooks gets. The defense collapses on her, leaves it wide open for Myers, and Myers can shoot the rock. Very good outside shooter.
M. Garten gets it right back from Rasmussen to the right side. And a pull-up shot off the front of the rim, then off the window. Crooks with authority slaps that away. And the Golden Bears will come up the left wing side. Drawing some contact there was Molly Joyce. And that's one of those where when you know the player that you're going up against doesn't look confident, doesn't look sure where they're going, lean in a little bit and see if you can't get a call there.
She had him moving backwards. She had everything, all the momentum in her favor. You know, just looking around, right, watching Audie Crooks play the game of basketball, smile. I'm not sure I've seen bigger smiles out on the basketball court from anybody out here than what she's got. Just grinning from ear to ear with everything that she does, cheering for her teammates, cheering everyone on. What a fun player to watch.
Joyce, the lefty, hits both of them. She is north of 75% on her free throws. Sometimes you see those numbers and you think, well, maybe that means that she's shooting 6 for 8. But she has made now 59 on the season. And with 5:37 left to go, it is a 10-point game, but Exira-EHK still well in this, but what they're going to need to do is try to put together a couple of good possessions. Whether or not it goes in, you just want to build off that confidence. The last couple of times just looks like they've been a little bit careless with the ball.
They certainly have had their shots altered down low as they get there again there on that possession.
That one rolled off of about 20 different fingers, 5 at a time, and finally settles down as Elsbecker keeps it in bounds. They'll float one inside to Crooks. Crooks defended well by her counterpart, M. Garten. And what else can you do if you're Macy M. Garten? You feel like you're in a great position to make that a difficult shot. And Crooks looks like she could have hit that one in her sleep. We will go ahead and take a timeout, but we will be back with more basketball action. You're watching the 2021 Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
And welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. 5:08 left to go in quarter number 2. Bishop Garrigan taking on Exira-EHK. We were deadlocked at 9, but it has been a 13-1 run for the Golden Bears to start quarter number 2. And quite honestly, I'm having a hard time figuring out whether they've been more impressive on the offensive or defensive side of the court, but they've been getting it done both ways.
They know that, Algona Garrigan knows that EHK cannot beat them on the inside, so they've really extended out their defensive pressure with everyone else.
Rasmussen with a shot, and getting a piece of it was Emma Grangenet. That helped it go off course. Crooks, even there, pass a little bit off the mark, but she is able to corral it. However, this will end up being Spartan ball, and now an opportunity for Exira-EHK to try to build some momentum going into halftime.
The entry pass pulled her out just a little bit more as she put the ball on the floor. I think it was M. Garten, that snuck herself in there to get the charge.
And then cutting up the left side, Quinn Grubbs reaching in, Anna Berkey. And so it is the 5th foul called against Bishop Garrigan. They pick up a couple quickly. Fortunately for them, they were pretty clean in the first 8 minutes of play.
Well, and Crooks has 2, so I'll be curious to see how much longer Coach Brandon Schwab leaves her on the floor.
Bounce pass in the lane, just inside the charity stripe, fighting for a rebound. And Berkey comes away with it, falling, is able to hand that off to Crooks, and they'll move it up the court. With it on the dribble is Joyce. Joyce hands off for Capacious in the right corner. Grand Jeanette now back over to the left side. It's Joyce. Floats one inside to Crooks. Has a player outside. Berkey back to Crooks. Swatted away by Garten, but stays in possession of the Golden Bears. Down the left baseline. Now centering. And Joyce. And Bishop Garrigan slowing things down, although not intentionally. This has just been stout defense by the Spartans.
They've tried to feed the ball in the post, and everything runs through Crooks in the middle, and right now she's got 3 gals with their hands on her.
An absolute triangle surrounds her. A 3 no good by the Golden Bears. And Exira-EHK will come up court with it on the dribble, and they'll patch it out to the right side. Waiting. Got Crooks moving a little bit there. Garten now with it. Back inside they go. And a 3, no good. Crooks comes up with a rebound, and then a lead pass springs Molly Joyce. Joyce pulls up for the jumper, no good. And controlled by Burmeister. Now Burmeister given the green light. She takes off. Exchanges over for Grubbs and drops in a long 2. 2:50 to play in the half, and that cuts it to a 10-point lead.
Grubbs in rhythm, a lot of confidence stepping up to hit that shot. Averages over 16 a game. She's taking that shot plenty.
Now with it, Bishop Garrigan's Anna Berkey. Shot no good. Crooks controlled it for a moment. Burmeister swatted it away, but into the hands of Emma Grand Jeanette. Joyce seems more comfortable on that left side. Back into the hands of Berkey. Berkey will switch over to straightaway center. Long 2, drops it in.
I was just about to mention how the 10-point lead for Garrigan seems like a lot right now in the pace of this game, and then she steps up to hit that.
A 3 on the way, no good, off the side of the rim. Bishop Garrigan has doubled up Exira-EHK to this point, 24-12. With just a shade under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 1:59 left on the clock. Again, for the Spartans, Tom Peterson, who you saw there on your screen moments ago, the head coach. Corey Bartz, the assistant coach. For Bishop Garrigan, the Golden Bears, Brandon Schwab calling the shots. Mick Albert and Joe Bartolo, the assistant coaches.
Tom Peterson for EHK, 446 career wins. He's got a sparkling record. He's been here a bunch. A couple towns, or several towns, with great basketball traditions at Dutch heritage, or Danish heritage, I should say.
Switching over to the right corner. A 3 dropped in. Burmeister, as Elisa Partridge picks up the assist on that bucket. And Exira-EHK makes it a 9-point contest. 95 seconds left here before we go to break. In the right corner, 3 put up. Just a little bit shy, but contact drawn as Joyce drew some hands to the back, puts it in, and now an opportunity for the and one.
Well, Joyce able to come in and not touched at all, because if you look, there's 3 players that had their attention on Crooks, boxing her out all the way up to the free throw line. So while you're doing a great job boxing out, there's other players you have to account for, and she gets it back up to a 12-point lead with a free throw.
And not touched until it was too late, as she drew a little bit of contact at the tail end of that one. They'll hand it off now. In the same corner moments ago, saw Burmeister with the tray, not able to get that one to drop. Crooks feeds Joyce. Joyce defended well by Burmeister, but is able to track that one down before any of the Spartans could get to it. Again, Burmeister reaches in and comes up with a tip away, and as Joyce is trying to regain control, it is Burmeister called for the foul with 1:01 to play.
dove into her back, her back of her leg. I know it's a loose ball situation, but that's just a tough spot to be in.
A timeout taken here. 27-15 the score. And as we take a look at the Class 1A bracket, earlier in the week, Bishop Garrigan defeated Springville 48-42. Exira-EHK knocked off MMCRU 60-55. In our game upcoming, which will be at 4 o'clock, Dar Danielson with the play-by-play. Jimmy Steyer, our color commentator. It will feature Newell Fonda and Montezuma. Newell Fonda defeated Kingsley Pearson 88-47. They are the 2 seed. And the number 6 Montezuma Bravettes with a 50-45 victory. Montezuma, a school that I've had an opportunity, not this season, but the previous 2, to call some of the girls' basketball games from time to time. And that, again, you want to talk about a basketball community. Montezuma, at times, it just seems like you might as well just pencil them in for Wells Fargo Arena, and then, well, we'll put that in ink once we're ready to figure out hotel dates and such.
And that's not just recent. I mean, their success goes all the way back to the 6-on-6 days of some great players that they've had.
56 seconds left to go in our opening half. They'll slide it over to Grand Jeanette. Attacks the basket from an odd angle. Can't get it to go, but Audie Crooks is Johnny on the spot to pull down that board and puts it right back up and in to give her squad a 14-point lead. Bounce pass, and now they'll again get to M. Garten. A little bit long on the attempt. Crooks misfires as Grubbs picks off that pass, and then reaching in on Rasmussen is Anna Berkey, the senior, whistled there. And now shooting 2 will be Molly Rasmussen with 27.9 left in the quarter.
We talked about the shooting percentage early on and how Audie Crooks can shoot over 70% from the field. Well, you're seeing it right now, the way she gets herself to the basket and works with her back to the basket, already closing in on a double-double here in the first half. 10 points and 9 rebounds early on for Crooks.
Rasmussen, a 60% free throw shooter on the season. Hits the first, misses the second. Rasmussen back outside. And we're going to have a travel. They're called on Burmeister. And again, we talk about how the teams have been in top shape, but the officiating today so far has been stellar as well. They haven't missed a thing.
They've been all over everything. A good flow to the game, and just 7 fouls on Garrigan, 5 on EHK. Not a whole lot of free throw shot.
Joyce splits through, dishes to Crooks, and she hits a shot with about a second left to go in quarter number 2. And that is the exclamation point on the half. 31-16. Bishop Garrigan on top as we head to the locker room. You'll want to stay tuned as we've got a lot coming up in your halftime show, including a special feature from our title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau, a recap of first half stats, and more. So stay with us. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's top teams and student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's a chance for a small town kid to make it big. It's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more, to be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can be found only in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes, the coaches on a successful year. And remember, the task ahead of you is never greater than the strength within you.
I hear you're looking for a great college where you can get an affordable education. SWIC is the place for you.
I appreciate the personalized attention.
And I've gotten to meet people from all around the world.
The SWIC student housing is incredible.
I like SWIC's hands-on training.
And I'll start my career in 2 years.
I can schedule my classes online or face-to-face.
SWIC feels like a community, like family,
like home. SWIC is a place for you.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Welcome back here with you live courtside on the Girls Union Network powered by Mid-American Energy. We are at the half, and Bishop Garrigan, Exira-EHK were deadlocked at 9 apiece after the first quarter, but Bishop Garrigan able to put up 22 points in that second quarter, and a big reason they've got a 15-point lead here at the half. Now we'd like to take a moment here to once again thank our title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau, for their support of the state basketball tournament. Earlier this week, Tom Florian of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union had an opportunity to sit down with Iowa Farm Bureau President Craig Hill for an interview to learn more about Iowa Farm Bureau's support of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and student athletes across this great state.
And we'd like to welcome you into the halftime show. I'm Tom Florian with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We hope you've enjoyed the first half of action here at today's game. The Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament here now in its 102nd edition in Des Moines, a great event for the state of Iowa. And we here at the Girls Union are so thankful for those who support us in putting on this fantastic event, none of which are more important and great as Iowa Farm Bureau, our proud title sponsor. Joining me now here at halftime is President of Iowa Farm Bureau, Craig Hill. Craig, good to see you.
Good to see you, Tom.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here. We want to tell the viewers about Iowa Farm Bureau and the support that you provide to the Iowa Girls Union. My first question to you would be, why does the Iowa Farm Bureau invest and support the Iowa Girls Athletic Union?
Oh, well, Tom, the Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union now for 16 years. And we're thrilled, once again, to be a part of what we consider to be the best girls' state tournament in the country. And it does showcase Iowa's elite teams, our elite players, and I would suggest our elite fans as well. But we recognize the pandemic. It has certainly made the trip to qualify for this tournament just a little bit more challenging. And, I would suggest that it's also a testament to the ability of our student athletes to adapt and to persist through these tough times. So we're just so proud of these student athletes.
And you mentioned the student athletes and how they've grown and persevered through this challenging year. Talk about why Iowa Farm Bureau is so invested in supporting Iowa's youth.
Oh, well, Tom, I'm a farmer, but I've always said that our kids here in Iowa are our most important crop. And that's why the Iowa Farm Bureau provides just over $250,000 in scholarships to students each and every year. More than $450,000 over the last 8 years for Iowa's teachers in terms of classroom supplies, as well as our sponsorship of 4-H and FFA and many other youth organizations, but of course, the Governor's Scholar Program. And we recognize academic students academics and students in Iowa through that program.
And you mentioned recognizing and providing recognition and scholarship opportunities for youth in Iowa. But these student athletes here on the court today, they're actually taking home some other types of souvenirs, if you will, from the state tournament. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, each player will receive a signature ball, a basketball that coaches and players can sign. Everyone can keep as a keepsake and kind of a reminder of what the journey has been to get them here to the state tournament. So it's an opportunity for us to provide some good memories and keep that keepsake in front of them as they go on as being leaders in Iowa in our communities.
A cool keepsake, most definitely. Well, Craig, we are out of time here at halftime, but I want to thank you again for your support of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and everything that you do. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tom.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Maybe that's why scientists are trying to recreate real meat. Trying to duplicate the taste and texture, often using more than 20 ingredients. But why tamper with what Mother Nature already perfected? A more complete, high-quality protein, Iowa raised meat is the original health food, with 9 essential amino acids necessary for the human diet. Nutrients that are hard to get from plant-based proteins. Best of all, the real meat on your dinner table tonight was sustainably raised with love by Iowa farm families. As much as people may try, there's just no substitute for the taste, texture, and nutrition of nature's perfect protein. But hey, keep at it. It's flattering that so many products want to be us.
Sometimes people who seem to know everything.
Dental insurance costs a fortune and it covers nothing.
Don't. For instance, personal plans from Delta Dental cut the cost of many procedures in half. So be careful what you hear.
How important are teeth anyway?
Get the facts. Contact Delta Dental about saving with personal dental plans today.
Des Moines, the S's are silent. The fun is always loud. And now it's easy to plan your Des Moines adventure. Introducing the Catch List. A list of all things you can't miss. All the thrills, all the chills, hops and drops. Des Moines is a city of love that'll put a smile on your face. It's easy to picture yourself here. Find your adventure at catchdesmoines.com/catchlist today.
And that's halftime, folks. I'm Gus Johnson, and it looks like the Clarks are starving. Over to Dad.
He goes for the Casey's app.
2 handmade pizzas.
Incredible! Casey's curbside pickup. What a play! Bringing it home. Boom! He scores with Casey's Pizza. Order any large Casey's Pizza. Score another for just $5.99.
Casey's for the win.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by MidAmerican Energy, as we are at the half with a 31-16 lead for Bishop Garrigan. Hey fans, official state tournament merchandise is now available online. It's time to get your smartphones out. You can just scan the QR code on your screen now, or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. Eric Zamora alongside me, Andy Pollock. And Andy, as we kind of take a look at the halftime stats here, obviously the big story for Bishop Garrigan is that Crooks has been all over the place offensively, defensively, leads both squads with a dozen points. But Molly Joyce chipping in double digits as well. And it really feels like the Golden Bears are clicking and firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, we mentioned in the pregame that EHK was going to have to be able to score from the perimeter, and they just have not been able to do that in this one so far. Shooting, as you see, only 26% from the field, 25% from three-point land. They're close to a 40% three-point shooting team on the season, so certainly nowhere near that right now. And we've noticed that the Golden Bears have been able to extend their defense out a little bit more as Crooks maintains that middle of the lane. And they've turned the ball over 9 times, so that doesn't help either. Bishop Garrigan has settled in. They shot much better in the second half. They were shooting in the 20s in the second quarter. And they're now shoot just over 40%. A couple threes, but they don't need them right now, and they've been able to hit a few free throws as well and are out rebounding Exira-EHK 22-15 individually. Shea Burmeister leads Exira-EHK. She's got 6 points. Played all of the first half. She's got those 6 points on 2 of 3 3-point shooting. The home team on the scoreboard tonight, Bishop Garrigan, Audie Crooks, leads all scorers in this one. She has not stepped off either, including playing the last 6 minutes of that half with 2 fouls. She's got 12 points and 10 rebounds so far in this one, and 3 blocks as well. So a nice night for Audie Crooks. Molly Joyce, like you mentioned, 10 points. Caitlin Myers has 5, and Berkey and Capazius have a couple as well for the Golden Bears.
And for Bishop Garrigan, we talk about Audie Crooks. Her mother, Michelle Vitzum, was able to play Iowa girls basketball prior. And when the Golden Bears were talking about one of their key phrases is start fast, finish strong. They didn't get the first half of that. I mean, it was a back-and-forth affair, but a close game. What was the biggest difference you saw there in quarters 2-1? Obviously, on the scoreboard, a lot of a difference of those 2 8-minute periods.
Well, when you have a player the caliber of Audie Crooks, you always wonder how another team's going to try to defend you. And you notice in the first half, it just took them a while to figure out what they're going to do. And, playing with 3 girls around her, well, then they got some other players involved, and then that opened things up for Crooks once again.
Bishop Garrigan in white, moving right to left, and a good dish down low, and they start out strong. Gracie Elsbecker, the senior guard, gets the first points of the second half.
Great entry pass up top from Myers.
Down low they go to Rasmussen. She kicks it out to the left side, looking for a 3 there. And just off the mark, Quinn Grubbs skimmed that along the rim. Bishop Garrigan counters, and in transition, Joyce hits a 3. Timeout taken by the Spartans. And Bishop Garrigan drew something up right there at the half as they were able to come out. And again, for Exira-EHK, a lot of time here, but you can't have 42-second moments like that where the Golden Bears come down, score, and score quickly.
Well, the first one was in a good half-court set, and they had Myers all the way kind of up by us and saw that he had someone sneak by that entire zone defense along the baseline. Open look there, and then in transition coming back the other way, the set shot just wide open, no one able to identify the shooters as EHK was trying to get back down. Started with a block on the other end from Crooks, and the Golden Bears were off and running, and they're going to keep that pressure on right now.
Exira-EHK, the Elkhorn Kimballton area. And the Spartans going from left to right. A 3 off the rim, no good. Kicked out. And Bishop Garrigan out of Algona, Iowa. About 2 hours, 15 minutes northwest of the metro here.
Up in Kossuth County.
They'll kick it out to the right side. Grace Elsbecker. And we'll switch off for Joyce. Joyce dribbles over, hands off to Elsbecker. It's turned over, and the Spartans in their scarlet jerseys, white numerals, and Spartans written across the chest in white, outlined in black, going from left to right, attacking the north basket here in the second half. On the dribble, Quinn Grubbs floats one to Rasmussen, gets it right back. Thought about a 3, now pulls up for a 15-footer, drops it in.
Those are the kind of shots EHK is going to have to make to get back in this game in the second half. Now, Crooks doesn't want to come too far out from her spot as she patrols the post. They can get a good open look there about the free throw line.
Speaking of open looks, a 3, a little bit off to the left was Elsbecker. And out of bounds, 6 minutes to go. Again, Dar Danielson and Jamie Steyer will have the call of the 2 and 6 seeds here in Class 1A. Newell Fonda, the Mustangs, taking on the Montezuma Bravettes. That game will get underway here on the Girls Union Network at 4 o'clock Central Time. Out of bounds, that possession coming up and taking just 10 seconds off the clock, and it will once again remain Spartan ball.
I wondered with the lead if Garrigan might try to slow things down, and they've done exactly the opposite. They pushed the tempo a bunch in the third quarter.
And as the 3 attempt by Emgarten off the mark, and Crooks pulls down the rebound. Sometimes I feel like teams can go if that doesn't work, we're always going to be doubting ourselves, and a lot of times it's best to just play the game that got you here. There, a rebound off of the Joyce shot by Myers, but unable to keep it in the field of play. Hits off the front of her shoe, out of bounds. And with 5:31 left to go in the third quarter, Exira-EHK with time starting to wind down. This is going to be an important possession here.
Well, and Garrigan, Ken, with no shot clock, they can start to really milk that clock if they want. No reason to be in any rush.
A pass made by Grubbs, and it was jumped by Myers, but Myers just able to get a left hand and tip it out of play, out of bounds. So now it'll be Grubbs to inbound. An IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Inside they go. Patience shown there as Emgarten is fed by Partridge. And a foul going against Crooks. That's her third, and with 5:07 to play, obviously if you're the Spartans, what you want to do is...
It actually ended up being she got fouled, so it was not on her.
Excuse me. Coming up with the ball is Joyce. Joyce looking for a bounce pass over to the right side, now to Crooks. Crooks pulls up with a long two, no good. Rasmussen fighting for it. On the dribble, now to Crooks. Exchanges to the right corner. Kick it right back in the hands of Abby Capacious. On the dribble is Joyce. To Berkey, they'll slow things down here a bit on this possession. Looking to float one inside to Crooks, and Crooks had players on either side of her. Rasmussen reaches in and is called for the foul. That's one of those where anybody else, and you're not even thinking about making that pass, but with Audie Crooks, you go, well, she's got a player right in front of her, right behind her. Yeah, I think I can hit that sliver of an opening.
There's a large sliver of an opening, right? You got a large margin for error right there as she can go up and grab that ball out of the air. The offense runs through Audie Crooks.
4:24 to play. Off the front of the rim, no good. Slapping at it is Myers. Tries to argue that she tipped it off of an opponent. The officials in the spot to see that was not the case. And we will have Spartan possession as we reach the halfway point of the third quarter. 4:13 to be exact. In the lane, dropping one in is Elisa Partridge. And they will head back to defend with Bishop Garrigan on a 17-point lead.
Again, that soft spot in the zone, that's where they want to attack.
Joyce bounces to Myers in the left corner, drops in a tray.
So if Exira Elkhorn Kimballton wants to pay attention to Crooks, they've got Joyce and Myers that'll hit the three.
Attacking quickly, Quinn Grubbs the other way. And this is where, for the Spartans, they've got to be really careful. They do draw a foul and will go to the line. But at this point of the game, down by 20, you'll see a lot of teams really try to pick up the pace, and that's fine as long as you're still getting quality possessions. The last thing you want to do is compound the issue, because quick mistakes aren't any better than, taking your time and getting good looks.
Well, you still have to play just one possession at a time right now, down by 20 points. It's easy to say there's no play in basketball. They get 20 points at one time. So you play one possession at a time, and right now one of your more immediate goals is to have it down where in the last 4 or 5 minutes you can still have a chance at fouling, and still have a chance to come back and win this ball game.
From the right baseline, they kick it out to the left side. Now Myers all alone for a three. Put a little bit on it. A little bit too much, I should say. Exchanging to Partridge. She will spin, looks, and sees that she's got space. Also was communicated, and good job by her teammates, allowing her to know that she had an opportunity to make that turn. They'll hand off backwards for Grubbs. Kick to the right side, now inside. Grubbs fed from Partridge. Couple of steps. Floating jumper, no good. Emgarten comes up with a shot, actually had that hit off the underside of the window. And you saw Audie Crooks there for a moment, thought about trying to break that up and said, maybe not worth the gamble right now, as the last thing she wants to do is pick up a foul.
And they would like to run if they could, but you're right. I mean, that can quickly turn into backfiring on you and turning into points the other way.
A good look, and it takes a couple of bounces off of both sides of the rim, but will not fall for Anna Berkey. Spartans the other way in transition. Emgarten now over to the left side, Rasmussen. Burmeister, as the Spartans now taking this opportunity to try to move around and see if they can't get Bishop Garrigan to open up some holes defensively. Quinn Grubbs able to go high with the shot, drop it in, and the two-pointer with just over 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Myers up the right side. Crooks cuts to the lane and called for a travel as right idea, execution just a hair off.
You're right. It was a great cut, great look, but yeah, just took a couple stutter steps right before she got the ball up. I think the Golden Bear faithful thought it was a foul and got the basket, but the travel definitely came before that.
I also am wondering if Crooks wasn't a little thrown off by, wow, I'm this close to the basket, and unlike the rest of the game, nobody's paying attention to me. And this one will not count, as it looked like on release, Quinn Grubbs was looking for 3 there, but with 1:37 to play, we will have an IMT substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com.
Didn't quite see what happened there. Did they give him the point?
No.
No, okay, gotcha. It looked like he had given the
signal, yeah.
Signal.
Yeah, as this is fed down low. Crooks from a tough angle. That's a more difficult shot than it probably appeared, as you kind of had to readjust. Sometimes you can be too close to the basket, and the angle, you've got almost none. There, she was able to readjust, but it doesn't hurt that you're 6'3" and kind of get up there and play in no man's land. Crooks finds a loose ball, throws up the court, and an acrobatic spin. Molly Joyce with the bucket, and the Bishop Garrigan squad erupts.
That may be one of the best moves I've seen in this entire tournament so far out of Molly Joyce. The spin move, I'm not sure how she got it up off the glass even.
And they try to feed it inside to Rasmussen. Crooks comes up with it. Long two, no good. Rasmussen unable to score there. And then Grand Jeanette and Crooks both fighting for it, realizing they're on the same squad. And now Joyce slides it into the hands of Kelly Beatty. Off the window and in. And Bishop Garrigan rolling here to end the third quarter. 12 seconds left on the clock. Spartans looking to get the last shot of the quarter. Grubbs, bounce pass. Emgarten for a deep 3 off the mark. They'll try to hand it off to Rasmussen. Crooks will just pick it up and end quarter number 3 with her squad in control, 46-22. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back with more action. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you, and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You are my favorite place to go. You're at the end of my favorite.
You work hard to feed them well. That's why at Fairway, we work hard to give you the freshest produce, the highest quality meat, and the most affordable prices. Fairway Meat and Grocery. It's what we're all about.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. As the fourth quarter is just about to get underway, Elisa Partridge inbounding right in front of us here, courtside. 46-22 is a 15-6 third quarter that the Bishop Garrigan squad was able to outscore their opposition. Hey fans, as a reminder, Central College has a tuition price less than $20,000. That means a college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever. Scholarships still available. Apply at central.edu. And the Golden Bears extend the lead with a quick bucket coming up.
I tell you what, with Molly Joyce running the show for this Garrigan program for the next 2 years, Audie Crooks down low, what an impressive team they're going to have, because this Joyce, what she's done so far tonight, handling the basketball, you saw her run the break to perfection there. An impressive player for Coach Brandon Schwab and the Golden Bears.
Gracie Ellsbecker, the most recent bucket. M. Garten tried an off-angle, off-balance shot. I don't think would have gone in, but Crooks, better safe than sorry, swats it out of bounds. It remains Spartan ball, but the Golden Bears will come up with it. Joyce comes up a little bit short there on the three attempt.
I think it got altered there by Quinn Grubbs. She snuck in just from behind and got a little bit of a hand in there and made her lose the handle as she was going up.
And so coming up is Grubbs now. Exchanges over for Shea Burmeister. They kick out off the front of the rim. No good, the effort from Burmeister from the left side. Crooks with the block. Fed ahead by Rosenmeyer to Myers. And Reese Rosenmeyer with the assist.
Boy, they
Myers with the bucket.
They don't slow down at all. They just keep their foot on the gas.
With 6:30 to play, and I can tell you I appreciate that as a broadcaster. It's a much more fun game to call, as, again, this is a call going the way of Bishop Garrigan with 6:28 left in regulation.
Yeah, they've been able to get these run-out looks, and Crooks up to 18 rebounds on the night right now for the Golden Bears. But she gets that, and she quick turns and whips it out there to Joyce, and then eventually, feeds it over to Myers and all the different looks they have there. Just an impressive squad.
And again, I mean, you go across her stat line on the season, turnaround jumper, no good. And these numbers coming into tonight's contest is Joyce off the mark. 518 points, 101 blocks, 257 rebounds, and shooting north of 70%. I don't know which of those is the most impressive. Probably the collective of all of them together.
When you look at the whole body of work, and again, that's why she is going to have her college paid for. Not for another 3 years yet, though, until that happens. Just a sophomore, Audie Crooks, really burst on the scene in the state championship game a year ago, and everybody started to see who she was. I mean, a lot of people knew who she was inside the world of Iowa high school girls basketball, but when she showed up on IPTV in that championship game last year, it was who is this? And she has been turning heads ever since.
And credit her teammates. I mean, Molly Joyce contributing a ton throughout the season. Kaylin Myers, it's because there's such threats that teams can't say, all right, we're going to zone in just on Audie Crooks, as a shot missed, and the Spartans picking up the rebound is Tatum Grubbs. The Grubbses are sisters, and on the Bishop Garrigan side have a couple of relations, but those are cousins in Gracie and Reese Rosenmeyer and Kaylin and Abby Capacious. 5:28 to play. And Myers to inbound.
I like to pay attention a lot of times just to the atmosphere around teams and how they interact with each other. And kind of see how everyone celebrates each other. And this Garrigan team, as I watch everything that they do, just smiles all over the place from everyone high-fiving, and it just looks like a fun atmosphere to be around.
Well, and I imagine when your team has this much success at the regular season, the postseason, that it's easy to do. Should point out that at this point in the game, 3 players for Bishop Garrigan in double digits, and right now the team lead just on that shot taken solely by Audie Crooks, as before that free throw she was deadlocked with Molly Joyce at 15, but Crooks gets to Sweet 16 here, and with another opportunity here with 5:07 to play.
And their time in the game, I think, is starting to wind down a little bit. I think you're going to start to see some bench players start to work their way in here soon. Now, with Exira-EHK, there are no bench players. So with only 8, and they all play.
Kicked up top over for Grubbs. And getting creative, down low pass, Emgarten able to score off the side of the window.
Burmeister, the great look to give her open.
And yeah, I was thinking about that. Sometimes you'll see when the game kind of out of reach and teams will make a wholesale change, get 5 fresh players on the court. That is a luxury Exira-EHK doesn't have.
Yeah, they'll all be finishing it out as you, if you get a chance to look at them across the court, they'll be over on the right side here eventually. But yeah, just 8 total players that they play with throughout the year.
Myers feeds it inside to Crooks, despite Spartans getting a hand on it. Audie Crooks able to pull that in and will head back to the line where she was moments ago.
Caitlin Myers, as you watch her throughout the course of a game, the way that she just looks for that entry pass, that's not the lob over the top look that we've seen them try to get the ball to Audie Crooks at other times. She's got zip on it, and you watch her play the game, and she would be a star on a lot of other teams that we've seen, but she's got Crooks and she's got Joyce out there with her.
And with that, we will take a step away from the action. 51-26, Bishop Garrigan leading Exira-EHK. We'll be back with more Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back here with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in regulation. And Bishop Garrigan just one card shy of a full deck, 51 points, not 52, but they lead 51-26 over Exira-EHK, and starting to pencil themselves in for that Saturday 6:30 matchup. Newell Fonda and Montezuma to play next, as it is Crooks hits that one, and they have doubled up the Exira-EHK Spartans on the dribble. Burmeister gets it right back from Rasmussen in the lane, looking for a handoff, finding that to Grubbs. Now from the left side, 3 no good by Partridge, and some contact down low, so we will have another opportunity for Exira-EHK to try to come away with a scoring possession here.
Again, love the effort that Molly Joyce still playing with right now. And again, just looking out there, just smiles and giggles galore, playing the game the right way.
Emgarten on the inbound coming up. A substitution being made. Here, learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Into the left corner. 3 no good. Rasmussen goes high off the glass. And that's how you're going to have to shoot in close when you know that even if you can't see her, that Crooks is around somewhere trying to swat that one away.
What makes it more impressive, she caught it fading away. Caught it, fades away, tosses it up off the glass. Nice touch to get it to fall.
Molly Joyce with speed up the left side of the court, but called for a travel with 3:48 to play. Rasmussen off the side of the rim, no good. Picked up by Grand Jeanette, and she'll exchange it over to the left side. And enough contact there, a little bit of a rub coming from Burmeister.
Yeah, as they pushed it up the sideline right in front of us, you can really get a feel and appreciate the physicality that this game gets played with, even the stuff that doesn't get called. I mean, you can't call it all, but it's this game of basketball. It's not for a group of I hesitate to say ladylike. You're not out there working on the posture with a book on your head or anything like that. These are women playing the game of basketball hard, the way it's meant to be played, and love the effort that they do it with.
And to expound on that point, working for one of the local sports stations here, 1460 KXNO, we've had members of the Iowa Wolves on the program to talk about, on TV, basketball looks completely different than when you come down here to the courtside. You don't realize how fast and how physical the game can be. Even, I mean, obviously people understand it at the NBA level, but even at the G League, how the Wolves really put on a fantastic show. It's unfortunate that they're not able to here in Des Moines this season, as they're in a bubble down in Florida. But obviously, with a pandemic being what it is, we'll take what we can get.
We're all excited that it was a year ago right now when we started to get word of what may be coming. All smiles there from Beatty as she hits that three, but it changed a lot of stuff. Fortunately, in Iowa, we've been able to play through most of it. And I know there's a lot of young ladies here at this tournament this week that are very thankful for that opportunity as well.
Quinn Grubbs with the floating shot. And, yeah, that's a great point. After the girls and boys tournaments wrapped up, there were, in fact, some changes to protocols for the last couple of days of the boys tournament. And what a change it has been since those championship games on the boys' side being played in almost empty capacity. Not quite the numbers that we would have hoped for here in a typical year, but still a good crowd and able to come out and support. And a lot of these fans, family members, and just community members are thrilled that after a 12-month period where we've had so much time socially distanced to ourselves, that they're able to come out here. And quite frankly, this is something these communities needed, was a break from the new norm, so to speak.
Well, and growing up in a small town where sports was king, I mean, the sports, a lot of the town revolves around what goes on at the high school athletics, the high school activities, and they're a big social event as well. So just being able to get out there and see everyone and do things together again, I think was a big part of the healing process after a pandemic.
Gracie Rosenmeyer on the three-point attempt from the right side. It comes up short. Minute 40 to go, and a three dropped in by Tatum Grubbs. You talked about the senior overcoming an injury to her ACL, excuse me.
I didn't know about the other A.
Yeah, and wow, what a moment there for the senior. It's going to come in a losing effort, but you've got to imagine that she's absolutely thrilled to just be out there and playing. Tough angle shot from Beatty, just a little off the mark, and this is going to be called against the Golden Bears. Spartans here with a minute and 12 left in the game.
It's all academic from this point out. It actually has been for the last few minutes, but love to see how hard the girls continue to play.
Tatum Grubbs with the inbound from Shea Burmeister. Up the right side. Now back into her hands. And it looks like we're going to have another substitution here coming up in a moment off the mark. And this is picked up by Ashlyn Hovey. Hovey exchanges over for Berkey. A timeout taken here. And credit some of her teammates, including Molly Joyce, for giving a good run and a good effort. But we all agree Audie Crooks, the Casey's Player of the Game. Fans, Casey's is so proud to sponsor the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union in today's Player of the Game. Audie Crooks. Casey's at the heart of many Iowa communities, cheering on our local teams and fans, making sure there's fresh pizza ready, win or lose. Sign up for new Casey's Rewards, a rewards program that gives back by letting you redeem points for Casey's cash, fuel discounts, and donations to local schools.
You see her numbers that she put up for the game there on the bottom of the screen. Very impressive, on her way to most likely being the MVP of the tournament.
From the tough right side angle, unable to get that to drop was freshman Hannah Nelson. Big block there on the pass as Grubbs elevates and leads the charge ahead all alone. Tatum Grubbs goes off the window and in and scores with 6 seconds left in the game.
So another timeout to get some substitutions in the game. Tatum Grubb is the one that's going to have a seat, and all smiles for her. Yeah, not the way that she wanted to end her year, but you see the big brace on her right knee, tore her ACL just not too long ago, and able to play, and actually plays very well tonight. Ended up with 5 points off the bench.
A special and emotional moment for the senior, and not even needed to be brought across midcourt. Bishop Garrigan will advance to the championship game in Class 1A with a 57-35 victory. And we will now go ahead and send it over to Tim Fitzpatrick for the awards presentation.
Fans, please direct your attention to the court for the awards presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gary Ross and Gene Berger. Congratulations to head coach Tom Peterson and the Spartans from Exira-EHK on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Audie Crooks will advance their team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Bishop Garrigan fans, your team advances to the 1A championship and will play the winner of our next game between Newell Fonda and Montezuma on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Fans, on behalf of the
Exira-EHK actually outscores Bishop Garrigan 13-11 in that last quarter, but a little too late as Bishop Garrigan, in a game where they could have been frustrated early. It was a 9-9 game after one quarter was in the books, and it just seemed like they said, all right, now we know our opposition, we know where to go, and they just drew up the game plan and executed from there. And again, Crooks is going to get a lot of the headlines, but certainly the entire starting five and the players off the bench contributing, and we're just coming at the Spartans in waves, and it was a fantastic team effort in the victory today.
Well, and you mentioned a long time back, because they all got to double digits early on in the game, that three different players for Algona Garrigan get in double digits tonight. Molly Joyce was 17, Kaylin Myers with 10, and Audie Crooks was 17 as well. So, and Joyce and Crooks, a couple sophomores that look for big stuff. I mean, big stuff tomorrow night from Algona Garrigan, but big stuff down the road as well for the Golden Bears. And, one of the things we talked about in the pregame was Exira Elkhorn Kimmelt is going to have to hit some shots from the perimeter. They're going to have to win that perimeter, and they were just not able to do it today. 3 of 22 from three-point land. They only shot 13.6%, and actually for the game shot 27% from all field goals. So just a tough night shooting the ball, and Audie Crooks blocking the 7 shots had a lot to do with that. But it's a great season for Exira-EHK, and a team that will no doubt be back at this state tournament in the very near future.
And for Bishop Garrigan, they now have an opportunity to take a breather. We'll try to catch some of our next game. We hope you join us as well here on the Girls Union Network, as Dar Danielson will have the play-by-play. Jamie Steyer of the 2 and 6 seeds in Class 1A coming up. Newell Fonda taking on Montezuma. One final time here from Wells Fargo Arena. Bishop Garrigan, the 1 seed, advances 57-35 over Exira-EHK. And want to thank everyone for tuning in on behalf of my color analyst, Andy Pollack, our producer, Anna Bassett, and all of us here in Des Moines. I'm Eric Zamora, and thank you for watching our live coverage of the 2021 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.